Hello everyone, this is another lesson for the diction module. Today we will work on pages 70, 79, 80 and 81 in your diction module. Okay, and all right. So this is a booklet. This is the first page we will work with today. As you can see, the topic for this lesson is the very famous aspiration. So today we'll see when we produce aspirated sounds like p, t, k. All right? So you've seen plosive sounds, you've seen p, t, k, and you've seen b, d, g. Voiceless plosives first and then voiced plosives later. Today we'll focus on voiceless plosive sounds and the context in which we produce those sounds with aspiration. All right? Okay, so as you can see here, we have the sounds p, t, k, and then there is a small letter, a small h there, indicating that these sounds are aspirated, all right? So instead of saying p, t, k, we say p, t, k, with a lot of force coming out from our lungs, all right? So one way to see if we are producing aspiration in these consonants is the following. This is a very, very old trick. So we have here a sheet of paper. So if the plosive sound is aspirated, then I should be able to move the sheet of paper because there is a lot of air coming out. So I say it moved, so it is aspirated. If it's not aspirated, then it will not move. All right, so in English, these sounds, in some contexts, are aspirated, but in some others, they are not. In Spanish, they are not aspirated, okay? So in Spanish, we will never move the sheet of paper, but in English, in some context, we should move the sheet of paper, all right? So let's summarize. En esta clase vamos a ver cuándo pronunciamos los sonidos oclusivos sordos de manera aspirada, es decir, vamos a ver cuándo en inglés se produce la aspiración de esos sonidos. Y una prueba para saber si estamos aspirando realmente es, por ejemplo, la del papel que les acabo de mostrar. Okay. All right, let's go on. So the first activity is about a story. So we're going to focus first on meaning. This is a story called The Princess and the Pea. If you haven't done it, if you haven't listened to the story and done the first exercise, you can pause the lesson now and do it, all right? And now let's see the answers for the first activity. So the fairy tale is about, we have three options, and the correct option is B. It's about a prince that wants to find a true princess. And then who are the main characters of the story? Well, they are a princess and a prince. And the last one, what is the moral lesson of this fairy tale? And the answer is, don't judge people by what they look like. All right. Now, let's now focus on aspiration. The idea now is that you have a look at the text that you have listened to, which is on page 81. Here. So as you can see, the text is full of words that have been highlighted. They are in bold and they are underlined. So you have to listen to it again and identify if the sounds in those words are aspirated or not. So you should be able to see if they say time, time, which is not aspirated, or time, time, which is aspirated. All right? Okay. So after you do that, you should be able to see that the only word in the examples here that is aspirated is P, not gate, not perceived, and not storm. Now, why is that? Well, there is a rule for aspiration. So this is the very famous rule for aspiration, and it has two parts. The first part is about the domain of aspiration. And the important thing here is that the domain for aspiration is the syllable, all right? Now, we need to remember that when PTK, when PTK is in initial position, then it's going to be aspirated, not in medial and not in final. Okay? So whenever you see P or T or K in initial position of the syllable, then most probably that sound is going to be aspirated. Now, the second part of the rule is about the stress of the syllable. Is it a stressed syllable or an unstressed syllable? Well, the answer is stressed syllable. So the final rule for aspiration is the following. Whenever P, T, or K is in initial position of a stressed syllable, then you will produce aspiration, all right? So examples for that, if you remember from the text, some examples are P, P, and not B, P, but P. Then table, table, and not table, table, all right? Another example, king, king, but not king, king. So we should be able to move a sheet of paper like this. P, table, king, all right? And then other words with aspiration are came, points, etc., etc., all right? In the rest of the cases, those sounds are not aspirated, all right? So in gate, the final T there is not aspirated because it's not in initial position of the syllable, it's in final position, gate. Then storm is not aspirated because it's in medial position of the syllable, it's after S. And then in perceived, although the plosive sound is in initial position of the syllable, like in P, it is not in a stressed syllable. It is in an unstressed syllable, because here perceived has two syllables. The first one is weak, P, and this one is strong, sieved. all right? The da, for instance. So as it is unstressed, then there is no aspiration there, all right? Okay, for you to practice the rules for aspiration, you should classify all the underlined words in the text as aspirated or unaspirated, okay? So you identify the word, you then identify the voiceless plosive sound, and then you decide if that sound is aspirated or not, all right? And then, as extra practice, you are expected to transcribe the words you see here in exercise number 6. So you have to use the phonetic symbols. And whenever you are in front of a voiceless plosive sound that is aspirated, then you should use this symbol to indicate aspiration. This is not in a dictionary, so you should be able to remember the rule for aspiration. All right, you can check all these in the key to this lesson that is available on the platform. Bueno, para resumir entonces, hemos visto cuándo pronunciamos estos sonidos de manera aspirada, es decir, cuándo producimos la aspiración. La regla entonces se divide en dos partes. La primera parte tiene que ver con el dominio de la aspiración. Siempre, siempre vamos a estar hablando de la sílaba, no de la palabra, sino de la sílaba. Siempre que los sonidos oclusivos sordos, estén en la posición inicial de la sílaba, muy probablemente el sonido esté aspirado. La segunda parte de la regla es que esa sílaba tiene que ser acentuada. En otras palabras, cuando producimos la aspiración de ptk, cuando el sonido ptk aparece en la posición inicial de una sílaba acentuada. Espero que hayan entendido esta regla y la recuerden, porque de ahora en más la van a tener que aplicar tanto en sus transcripciones, en la percepción y en la producción de sus sonidos. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.